to Forum View. I'm Siobhan Harton, your host for this evening. As you can see, Daniel or Sheila aren't here, where Daniel is sick and Sheila is away enjoying herself. So I'm going to be your host this evening. And I'm with two special guests of mine. One is Virginia Harton and the other is Terry Brannan. So I'm just going to get Virginia to introduce herself and Terry to introduce himself and say where they're from and what they do. Okay, Virginia.
Okay, I'm Hella. Hi.
Welcome.
Thanks very much. It's great to be here. I live in County Westmeath, but my husband's from Cavan, and I'm a holistic therapist. That's what I do for a living. And I have two children, Graham and Shaw, and we're 20 as well. And
You're here to review the news.
I'm here to review the news.
Excellent.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. Well, looking forward to hearing your views. And what about yourself, Terry?
Hi, I'm Terry Brennan from Mullahorden, married to Bernadette, and I have four girls. Eldest Neve is in London doing her last year teaching, primary teaching, and Aoife and Ciara is at Concord in Gonard, and Roisin is at Mullahorden National School. I'm a plumber by trade.
I'm great. And Terry, you've actually been very modest because you won Person of the Year this year. Woohoo! Good man, Terry.
It was a good award. Neighbour of mine nominated me first, Bobby Dowd, and I got a lot of votes from good people from Mullahorden, and then I got a call that I have won the award. So it was a great achievement, and I'd like to thank everyone that voted for me and helped me on any way to win. It was a good award to win, you know, good neighbour. It's go further field.
Oh, well deserved.
Yeah,
Well
I
deserved.
don't know about that, but people think I deserved it, but I got it anyway.
Oh no, definitely well deserved. Well deserved. And we're going to go to our first news story of today, and that is my first day back at school. Do you remember your first day back at school? Terry, do you remember your first day back at school?
I don't like to recall that. Jesus, how long ago. Is primary school or secondary school?
Well, primary school, because it's primary school that is on the cells. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I went to this back in about 1960.
Do you want to tell the year?
1965, 66.
Are you sure?
I just can't recall. I went to Clonkimmett National School, and teachers there were Philip and Sheila McGuinness.
Oh yeah, that's Killian McGuinness's father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And went there until 1972, but the year before we left, teachers Philip McGuinness and Sheila retired, and we had Michael Maroney and Peggy Maroney from Bannon. So.
And what was your memories from it? Did you get
slap?
slaps?
Oh, no, plenty of slaps. Plenty of slaps, and like we had good times, and there was good crack at school and lots of homework, and I enjoyed those years. And the last year, before we left, Michael Maroney came and he introduced football and hurling and different
Michael
games.
Maroney is great for the arts as well.
Very
He
good
was
for the
a really
arts,
good
yeah.
art teacher.
Yeah. And he introduced pottery to the school, clay making items out of clay, and like, it was very, very good.
That's great. And and what was the difference of you going and when you were sending your kids to school?
The things have changed for the better since we were coming. There was no central heating at school, and there was no running water.
That's right. The teachers
Yeah,
used to
the
turn their
teachers.
back to the fire, wasn't it? In those days.
Used
They
to
were the
turn
days you went
they
with
used to
no
turn their
shoes,
back on us.
wasn't it?
That's not that long ago, is it? No shoes. No.
Too long to remember. But things have changed for the better. Like new technology in teaching now, and that's when I did. But now with internet and computers and laptops and iPads, it's very, very.
Yeah,
but I don't think. I think they all what you can read out of a book and what you can memorize. But looking into a laptop or reading it off a computer, like, it's better. I thought when it was being
When it was the
expressed.
books, was
Yeah,
it?
the book, yeah.
But then the school in Dublin, did you see that in the news last night? School in Dublin, they have the iPads and all the books is in the pad, and it's really good for people's backs. Because I remember when I went to Loretto, one of the things was that you had this massive school bag to bring to school. So I think the iPad's a great idea.
Yeah,
What about
that's the disadvantage of the school books carrying, they have to carry
the carrying them?
time,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. What about yourself, Virginia? Do you remember when you went to your first day at school? I cried my first day at school. I didn't want to be there at all. Yeah.
All I remember is the fear. I remember, and I was very lucky because the neighbours' kids was on the bus,
Yeah.
and I vaguely remember just clinging to one of them. She was in the master's room,
Yeah.
and I was so terrified. And I remember the master at that time, like even though he wasn't a very tall man, when you're only 4, he looked like a giant.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You have to go to your teacher." And I remember being so terrified. And I've never forgot that fear, actually. It really
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
And we had a teacher called Mrs. Smith from Tunnyduff. I went to school in Knockbride, and we had football in the area. Sorry. And she was brilliant, Mrs. Smith. And I remember too, what I really remember is being really good at, from the very start, spelling and handwriting.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have to say about the fear though, even when I think about it still, I can still feel it. So, and you were saying to Terry earlier on what was it like when his kids went to school.
Yeah.
I remember when my first daughter Brianna went to school, and it was the same fear because in my mind, would she have that same fear that I had?
Yeah.
Of course she didn't, because it's a different school, different scenario,
Yeah.
and a smaller school. She went to a really small school, but
And your son just went to secondary school for the
Yeah.
first time this year. Well, obviously he went into first year. How was that transition?
well, do you know what? For me, it's it's a learning curve for me as well, because I had the fear. Will he settle in?
Yeah.
Will he be in
It's a tough one.
Will
It's
he be
very
in
tough.
class with his friends? That was a big one. And I don't think he's in any class, or maybe 1 or 2. But he's happy. He's so happy. He's so settled there. And when I go to pick him up, it's like I have to wait 20 minutes for him to come out.
Right.
And he has to be there. Like, he's so on time, it's not funny. I think he was there before the caretaker does in the morning. He wants to be there at the locker. But it's great because when they're relaxed and they're happy, Mommy and Daddy kind of tend to be
Yeah.
happy, you know. But it's a huge transition. Like,
It's amazing. I heard a lot of mummies, because I'm a community development worker in Greenwich as well, and I heard a lot of mummies saying when their kids went to primary school first that they did cry.
oh,
the mummies
yeah,
cried. The mummies
definitely.
had more fear than the
Mm.
actual the kids themselves.
That was the national school.
That was the
yeah.
national school,
I remember
yeah.
crying with Brianna, all right.
Yeah. So we're going to actually move on, and it's to it's New Loop Walks opened in Bombay. So it's all about this new walk that's after opening up in Bombay, and there's actually a walk in Mullahoran as well, Terry, isn't there? There's one John Beglin set up, wasn't it?
Yeah, like it's nature walk. Yeah, it's very, very good. It's interesting, and there's a lot of people joined up to it, and yeah, they enjoy meeting up every so often, and just it's a day out, and different people involved, and it's not from 5 to 70 anyway. You can do it. You know, it's very, very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think the walks are great, and I think about this walk, it's really great. It's up in Bombay, which is beautiful countryside, and it's to get out into the countryside and do this, because I know a guy was over like during the Flan. He's from England, and he wanted to go on different walks around Cavan, and I actually didn't know where to send him around Cavan town and stuff. So this is brilliant, and it's beside the Jimpaling Centre. It's going to be beside the Geo Park and everything. Have you been up that area at all, Virginia, or do you go walking much, or what's?
I absolutely love
Have you-
exercise. Haven't always, but I do now. I've really realised how important walking is for relieving stress.
Right.
You know, really, really good stress buster. And I have been up in the Jimpaling Centre, and it's lovely there.
It's great up there. Yeah.
Oh.
Bombay is beautiful. part of the
Bombay
country.
is just
Mm,
even
the geopark,
even just to
Fire
walk
Lands.
around, the feeling you get. It's a lovely feeling down there. You
Yeah.
know, really warm, comfortable.
Yeah, but Bombay is nice, but Mullahoran is much nicer.
Oh well, that's down to personal opinion. Yeah, I like Mullahoran too.
Mullahoran, and
Yeah,
you
that's
see the
dark.
crowd.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's like it's been proved medically now with walking how.
Yeah, with groups of people
Yeah,
walk, and then
yeah.
you can go to
Yeah.
their area, and
Yeah.
different, and it goes on and goes on, escalates
Yeah.
into and meet more friends, and you know, it can develop into a
Social thing.
social thing. Yeah.
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 Definitely, and you could go out stinking thinking and come home like a new person.
Like a new
you
person.
put
It's
it.
clear as
It's
clear
a great
as the
routine
head.
to have.
It's good for a system. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And we can also go shopping into the traditional kitchen store in Cavan, which is our next story, which is a really good story. And it's J&B Hope's traditional kitchen stores, Cavan Town, and this is down Bridge Street. And I'm actually really excited about going into this store. I've seen it and never went into it, only for this article now. I really want to go in, and it has Amish traditions mixed with American and really good quality stuff. Have you read this story, Virginia? Have you been in this store or?
I haven't been in, but I've read the story, and what really struck me was I just said fair play to a person, like especially in the times we're in, all the negativity that's out there at the moment. Like somebody's there and said, well, I'm going to start, because I've come across loads of people that'd be like, oh well, why is people, how can you start in the times that we're in now? Will it work? Will it make money? There's people's attitudes out there. Not everybody's, of course, but the majority at the moment, things are kind of, people are scared.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about this story is it's an American.
It is.
That's come. He's an Air Force person that has come. Former Air Force officer Andrew Pierce has come to Cavan, and he's actually from Kansas.
He is American.
Has come to Cavan. And do you reckon, Terry, it's going to take people from outside Ireland that will come in, or it seems to be those people that have to kick up and go, like to get up and go to do stuff.
It's not easy starting up a business at the present time, and especially the food industry, because there's so many little restaurants and around the area, and but it's good. If you do nice food and different types of food, and people get to like it, they'll always come back. It's the same as pubs.
Because there's this other diner as well that's after opening up. Where was that?
Is that out in Dunwoody?
Yeah, they're a year open, I think. Smith's.
Yeah. Paul Smith and his wife, they were in New York for a long time.
So they were away too and come back.
Yeah, they were in the business restaurant in restaurant business rather in New York, and again it's a big uptick. They come and start up again out there, but they're in a good location, and I wish them best of luck. And I believe they have very nice food and traditional fish and chips, and
then they have the eggs, don't they?
Sunny side over,
sunny eyed up, isn't it? Is that the way you like yours, Jerry?
Good for the cholesterol. You want to live any water after.
Because you spent a good bit of time in America as well, so do you reckon a lot of people that spent time in America will be edging to go here to this diner?
Complete vegetarian.
So get your sunny side up.
I get the sunny. I know it's over easy to go.
You've been over easy, Terry.
Well, I wish them best of luck there. It's good to see someone start, and they're in a good location, and
the menus is, I read the menus is
good choice of menu.
I haven't sampled, but the sauces and everything, this American style sauce.
It's going to be good.
My mouth was getting hot.
Really?
Yeah, someone speak lively.
It'd be good and spicy.
Yeah.
We're going to actually move on to our other story, and it's unemployment rate falls in County Cavan, which is a really good success story. What? Or people have left, is right. People have all gone out of Cavan. This is why the unemployment rate is down. Do you reckon that's the case, Terry? That it's because people have left that it's all the unemployment.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with people immigrating all the time. There's every week, one football club. We're just lucky at the moment, but during the summer we lost two good players, through immigration. They just went over, students that went over to America to seek work and enjoy themselves. But it is a big loss to our football club. The two top players, Raymond Lynch and Enda O'Reilly. And then we lost a few players last year as well, and Kieran Shields and others, but it's just tough to stay around.
And it seems to be a lot of guys that are leaving as well.
Yeah, well, a lot of these guys, are involved in the construction business, and they have qualified here, and then when there's nothing to do, the incentive to go and they have built houses and got caught up in the Celtic Tiger era and left with a big mortgage, and either a house is going to be taken of them, or else they have to go and search for work and see. But I left myself when I was 24, but I'd advise any young people guys or girls to go and broaden their outlook and enjoy themselves, you know, because they say the white ball was there when I came back. When I played football before that, but like I did enjoy my trip to America and
Yeah.
when I was
But there's a difference in having a choice to go and then being forced in to go, and you know, because there's a lot of families that they're under the pressure that women have to stay here with the kids and the men have to go, and that's
tough.
that's tough.
Yeah, but the same
But
thing
it's
in
going
the 80s, it was high unemployment as well. Interest rates was 17% at that stage.
Yeah.
And so it was like more or less a choice. Well, yeah, either you went or you stayed at home and you had absolutely nothing. America was a great outlook for us there because we went there and the dollar was strong and there was plenty of work and just a lot of young Irish people in America in the 80s when I was there.
Yeah.
And you know, it was the same as being at home with all the people from Horton and Cavan and different things. You know, we had football was booming out there as well. And
But do you reckon that it's different now because the US is like the US then was great to go to, and the UK, but seemingly they're under economic stresses as well, and you know people are going to Australia and Canada, but they seem to be not enough work there either. You're hearing the word back, so is it just
look, when I went, like we had very little money at home in the 80s, but you look at a lot of young people now, they seem to have a lot of money, they seem to be driving fairly reasonable cars, to have good lifestyle. But again, we didn't know that much. We didn't know anything when we left, but a lot of people might owe money now. That's why they have to might have to go.
And then, like, because it seems then that it was easier to make money in America and in the UK and send it home. It seems to be just this added stress.
Yeah, well, like
that
in
people
Australia,
can't.
you have to be sponsored to go
Yeah.
out there, and then you know even when you get there, it mightn't be all rosy or sunshine there either. You know.
And then why would you want to leave for the IMF? We'll go on to the next story about the IMF wanting €600 of everyone in Cavan. Like, is there any incentive to stay here at all? Do you have anything to say on this story, Virginia?
Well, it was just when I was reading it the other day, I just thought, my God, when people read that, first of all, like, even though it hasn't been passed yet, I think it's actually been rejected by the Minister of Finance for now. It scares people because they're like, what else is coming around the corner? Like, what else have we today? Because people are on tight budgets as it is, you know. And there's so much uncertainty out there at the moment, you know. It really is. And it hasn't been passed, so who knows what will happen, you know. But as I always say, keep a positive outlook for today, you know. And, you know, because you don't know.
Can you believe what they say, that they're not going to implement it? Can you believe it, Terry? Do you reckon that they will implement this? Like,
I'd say they will.
Eventually.
they are going to implement it.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
But that's why they're just sharing it now, so that people can kind of get a feel of that's what's coming, you know.
Yeah.
And what do you think, Sarah?
Yeah, exactly the same as everyone else. They
Yeah.
will implement it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And there's no incentive for people to stay here with that, you know. They're taking money off
Yeah.
people who don't actually have the money at all.
Yeah. All
So
the
the-
time, it's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're right, Terry. I wouldn't blame anyone for like stay or going.
Well, I have to say is that the government is handing out 75 million every week in dole for people that do absolutely nothing. And all the work like there is to be done, and like the balancing scheme.
75 million.
Yeah,
75
we
million,
read that
yeah.
today.
Wow.
Yeah.
And but
Every
I'd
week.
say about 4 or 5% of that is given falsely, the false claims and different things like that, you know. But there is, it's crazy. You know.
75 million. Wow. For people that's not. And
No, like they're handing out 75 million every week. That's what it's costing the dole. The government, that's what's costing the taxpayers.
every week.
Every week.
Wow. Oh, wouldn't it be great to put them to good use?
Yeah.
You know, the people that aren't doing anything, wouldn't it be
Yes.
great to put them to good use?
Yeah,
Like,
well,
you
I
know.
don't think they should give money
Because-
for nothing.
No, you
Mm.
should. Well,
No.
you know, you kind of lose momentum when you do get it for nothing. It's like when you get something for free, you don't
Yeah.
appreciate it as much. Like, you know, so definitely, yeah. No, 75 million. I'm in a bit of shock about that every
Yeah.
week.
When I heard that, I was kind of.
And I heard something about that there's what between 28 and 40,000 a year is given to a person with 4 kids. Was that said? Do you remember we were talking? There was a family with 4 kids. So 28. So on the dole, why would you work? Why would you work? In that case.
Yeah, you would.
In that case.
No, but like, if you go to America or Australia, there's no such thing as handing out dole. You know, like you go out and you depend for yourself, and like I think we're kind of over generous here. 198 euro for a single person, and maybe rent allowance and all the.
Or do you reckon the cost of living is high that they need that, and the wages are actually a lot lower?
There's not much. As far as I can see, personally, I don't see there's not much of a incentive for people to get up on little backsides and get out and find work.
Or big ones. They're sitting at home on the sofa.
Yeah. But, when you get 198 euro and everything paid, your rent and all the extra comes along with it, to get out and look for work. In England, I believe it's only about £60 a week or in the north, and then after a couple of months it's reviewed, and then you have to show what you're doing, the seat work. If you don't, you're absolutely wiped out.
But do you reckon that there is jobs out there, Terry, or is that they're not working? Because when you go to the FOSS Centre or anything like that, there's no jobs there. Or how do these people look for work? How do these people, get up and get the incentive to go out? Because when you go to, like on the papers or anything, there's no jobs there.
Well, like as I say, with the young people, with the incentive to go, the push and go, they're not going to hang around. They go and maybe go to America. They don't want to be have that lifestyle with dole every week and handouts. We could have got that when we were young as well, but you don't live like that. You just go and maybe earn.
Be your own entrepreneur.
Yeah, because you get into a rush and the same thing, and it's very, very bad for young people just to be handicapped.
To be sitting at home.
But I don't blame the young people either. I blame the system.
Yeah.
The system is completely wrong.
We'll get back to this. We're actually going to go to an ad break now, and we'll be back after this.
I'm Gavin Duffy, and I'm saying watch cavintv.com. It's a great opportunity to see some great programs, and you can watch it all around the globe via the internet and on many platforms. I watch it myself. Great stuff.
Welcome back to Born View. I'm Siobhan Harton, your host, and we have got 2 special guests, Virginia Harton and Terry Brannan. And Terry Brannan is from the good Mullahorn, woohoo! And Virginia would be nearly a blow into Mullahorn. So we're actually got loads of Mullahorn here this evening, which I'm delighted to represent. So actually we're going through a really good story, and it's a great clean-up story, and it's about Cavan Town is tidiest. I am very proud of Cavan Town because Cavan Town is looking amazing lately. It really is, and I have to say a big thank you to Brian Hora for that. Brian is doing a wonderful job. He's town clerk, and he's constantly going around looking at how to improve Cavan Town. So Terry or Virginia, would you like to chat or talk about this story?
Yeah, when I was reading it today, I'd actually met somebody that told me that Cavan Town has been in the top spot nearly from the competition started. That it has been up there.
That's
At
right. I
the
saw
top.
it's actually with Youghal in County Cork, and it's
up
got
there.
up there with the top names there, which is fantastic.
From the very beginning of the competition, which is brilliant, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great. And it's looking
Yeah.
beautiful, Terry, isn't it? Like with the flowers
Oh,
and
yeah,
everything.
the-
It's really looking
A
beautiful.
lot of praise must go to the people that's keeping the town tidy. I believe there is a gentleman that works for, I think, Mr. Dunn, that comes in every day of the week with a sweeper and cleans up every day.
That's right,
for-
7 days a
7
week,
days.
even on
7 days a
Christmas
week.
morning,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
heard.
that-
So
that-
thank you,
that-
Mr.
that's
Dunn,
an
for keeping
He's
the
very
town tidy as
interested
well.
that, you know, Cavan, Cavan is a Cavan Town is a nice, clean. It's very good to see it when you drive in. You don't see litter spread all over this place, and there's nice flowers, nice baskets. Back out in Mullaghorden, where we had that in Killidoon Village. We won a reward too for the tidiest village in Cavan as well. Killidoon. You might be aware of that. Are you aware of that?
I heard that.
Yeah.
You were the first.
Yeah,
Well,
but
I
a lot of
wasn't
praise
aware of
goes,
that.
Yeah.
again, a lot of praise should go to the voluntary effort by the community that spent Saturdays gathering from near Ballinya up to the County Bridge.
Yeah.
And we gathered up about a skip load of rubbish between plastic.
It's amazing the amount of
Bottles.
rubbish that can be on the motorways
yeah.
and everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's amazing the amount
Yeah.
that can be.
But again, you'd
But-
think I'd like to see something more from Cavan County Council. That maybe put up signs or maybe.
What could be done? What could it, like, even with
Well,
the
like,
signs? Do people
if
even look
if
at
they
signs?
had-
Do they
if the-
listen
if
to
the
them? I
fine-
don't know.
If the fine, if people was penalised heavily by dumping out, throwing out plastic or they're caught at it, or there should be a litter warden in an unmarked car
I
or
can't
something.
understand why people still. Why are you still throwing out litter? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
don't
Who
care.
throws out?
Well,
Who throws out
And-
litter?
and
Like you
then-
always see chip bags and different things like that.
And then it's
It's
very
crazy.
noticeable when the hedges are cut and the roads are along the side road is cut.
Yeah.
Then there's tons and tons of bottles. Like a week we have to clean in there back in Easter, and about a few weeks after, you see bottles and bottles
Bottles
and
again.
bottles and
What
paper.
really annoys me is when people get chips, when they get like bags of chips and stuff like that, or like McDonald's or some of those, and they just chuck the whole lot out. Do you ever
Yeah,
see that?
yeah,
Just
I've
in the
seen
middle of
it.
the road.
It's terrible.
I don't know who these
Yeah.
people are.
But there is people also dumping black bags of rubbish. Like I go walking like some days, and not far from where I live, you'd see black bags like down through into the ditches. Like it's just I don't understand why people would do that. Like littering beautiful scenic areas.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
I don't
there's
understand
bottle
it.
banks. We have bottle banks in Killidoon and.
Oh yeah, there's no excuse, Terry.
No,
There's no
no,
excuse
no,
for it. There is no excuse for it. Yeah.
It's just a habit. But
Yeah.
I think if there was a good hefty fine on people doing that, if one or two was caught, maybe like
Give an example.
maybe 1,500 or 2,000 euro,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah, hit the-
highlight it.
Get them where it
It
hurts.
just
Yeah.
it counteract that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to actually move on to our next story, which is Kings Court Bricks delegates to meet. I didn't see the I can't remember the other heading, but Terry, Kings Court Bricks.
I'll pass that on
To
to
Virginia.
our expert.
Experts. Well, look, they've been a long time picketing at.
Since January, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is since that. Yeah.
And it's just come to pass now that they.
Has been resolved.
Yeah.
It's been resolved,
Yeah,
which is
like
good.
That's a long time.
It's
That's
a long
nine
time
months.
for
That's like
workers,
8 months, 9
I'm sure
months.
the
For workers, that's
Yeah,
frustrating.
their families, their wives,
Yeah.
their kids, like
Yeah.
you know. It's been
Some workers, I believe, they're 30, 40 years working for Lagan or Kingsford Brick. Like it's a very, very bad, and you see like it that for the people that did so much for a company and be treated like that in the end.
And you know, that's the disappointing thing and the whole disheartening thing about the whole downturn was people were treated like that.
I'm
When
sure.
there's like what 35 years some people worked with that
like,
company.
people give their lives to that company, but I'm not blaming the company. But I'm sure there should have been resolved much sooner than wait for 10 months. The government should have maybe stepped in or something. I'm sure there should have been some other way of resolving that dispute.
Yeah.
People should, anyone that spends so much long in a company should be looked after or fairly well anyway.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Definitely, I agree with you. Like, because 9 months is a long time, not known, just not known
No,
where
you
you
get away from
stand.
the family and a steady.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem right, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so our next story is, we are very happy that it is resolved. So
Yeah.
that's a good
Definitely.
story.
That's
That's
a
good.
good story.
That's really good,
That's
and it's
positive.
great. That's very positive that they're able. Good communication then in the end.
Yeah, it
That
all
was-
worked out.
It all worked out. Happy ending.
Yeah.
So, actually, this one's interesting in the fact that there's an increase in the number of men reporting domestic abuse, according to men. This is very interesting, actually. Yeah, it's a charity, an Elfin-based charity called Men. That's who a Men is, and so this is really interesting. What is your view on this one, Virginia? Like, would you have thought that there would have been domestic abuse at home on men and the increase on it? Because normally you think it's women. Normally you think, the women like.
I would believe that, because I believe, like, men don't report it the way women would report it. So.
Yeah.
And I think at the moment in one of the soaps in Coronation Street, I think there's a storyline on this on domestic violence regarding the woman abusing the man,
Yeah.
which is great because it'll highlight, that it is going on.
Yeah.
And
A lot of this abuse is actually, it's not physical abuse,
No.
it's mental
mental
abuse. And it's holding a lot of it says it's holding access to children, so it is, and using the children against, which is very unfair to the children as well. Like it's unfair both. But as a man, what do you think, Terry, on this? Like, men don't communicate that well. Like, as in they don't. They don't. They feel that it's this thing that they should be on top of things and
Well,
everything.
it's very sad to see that going on. Either men abuse or women abuse, either way, it's very sad.
No,
Especially there's no winners, but as I say, it's children that suffers at the end of the day, and the family that suffers. But as I say, men doesn't speak much about it. But it's very hard to think of men being abused. I'm not talking about physical abuse, but maybe verbal abuse or mentally, and it is going on and going on.
Well, I can imagine it because the men aren't, like, I'm assuming now, I'm just assuming here now, if the men are at home not working or something like that, or, they haven't got access to their kids, and women, like, they mightn't even see it, some women mightn't even see it as abuse, but it is great that it's out there and it's been spoken about, and there are charities like Men there for people that are being abused, that men that are being abused.
But again, you then have to look at what causes these problems. It could be drink, it could be unemployment, it could be financial problems.
Yeah,
Could be a lot.
the main one is financial. A lot of the time they say marriage breakups or any abuse is to do with financial, marriage breakups is to do with financial
But
abuse.
usually it's always the other way around, like it's the men abusing women like that, but I don't know what percentage is women abusing men or men abusing women, but at the end of the day there's no real winners.
But I would say a lot of men don't report it because
Yeah.
they'd be embarrassed to report it, maybe to think that I'm not a man, why am I letting this happen to me? I would say there is a lot more of it maybe than we realise, because women would be inclined to talk as well.
Well,
Men don't talk,
Apparently there's 85,000 men versus 100,000 women.
Wow.
So 85,
Really?
so it's pretty high.
So it's pretty high,
pretty
it's
high.
nearly up there.
It's nearly up there,
Yeah.
I think it's getting more common, isn't it?
I think
It's getting more common. This is what the whole thing
Yeah.
article is about, that it's getting really, really common that these men are getting domestic abuse. And I'm thinking, just in my own head, that it is to do with the downturn, that it's unemployment rates.
I'd say it's always went on to a certain
Well,
level.
The downturn in the economy is bringing
In
on a lot of
relationships.
bringing a lot of problems,
Yeah.
Would escalate more maybe.
Yeah.
I'd say it always went on. I wouldn't say, my personal opinion, I'd say it always went on. at
maybe to a lesser extent.
To a lesser extent, yeah. And
Well,
people are more open now, they speak more as well.
They
Everything was
speak.
swept under the carpet for years. Like,
Yeah.
people are becoming into realise it's okay to talk now and to, you know, the lid has been lifted.
The lid,
Which
yeah.
is good.
Well, I would like to say anyone that is in this situation, or both male and female, to get the help. There's loads of help out there to seek the proper help and advice. There's absolutely loads out there. So to definitely, you don't have to put up with it. No one deserves that.
No.
Okay, so actually this is our next story, and it's Cavan mother barred from all shops in district. So this is Judge McBride, and he gave this a 21-year-old Cavan mother a sentence of 9 months. Do you reckon this is? Did you read this story, Terry? Do you reckon
I didn't
this
read it, no, but is it whatever different?
Yeah, she's banned from entering all pubs, shops in Cavan and Monaghan.
Yeah.
So she is. Is this a?
It must be an ongoing. Must be an ongoing problem because she's barred from all shops.
Pubs and shops.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a pretty hefty fine, is it? Well, and she was given 8-9 month sentences.
Yeah, but it's a disease some people has in shoplifting, and like people can go out the shoplift, and the shoplift, even though they don't need the thing, just for the sake of doing it and maybe trying to get away with it.
Like
but the people doing these things, like, and it's gone on and gone on, especially again with unemployment and no money and different things. But if it's gone on with this same person for months and months,
there's definitely a problem there. There's definitely a problem there. Yeah.
But,
and do you reckon Judge McBride did the best thing, that can just ban her from everything?
Yeah, but it's very, very hard being in business when you see when people there is so much money lost with people shoplifting every year. There's thousands and
It would be
thousands
very
of years.
disheartening if you had a business and someone was coming in
And
taking you working hard.
People isn't going around just nicking small stuff. It's big stuff, I'm sure. They might have get done for €1,000 worth of 50 cents.
So you're saying don't do petty crimes?
Well, no dinner.
Bulldog or no dinner.
No, well, I wouldn't advise anyone to do that. I'm not saying that.
Okay, we move on. We move on to the next story.
For the Judge McBride.
Yeah. We don't want you sitting in front of Judge McBride.
Me, Judge McBride on the football pitch, or me of someplace else, but not on court.
Not in court. You don't want to be seen there. No, not when he gives you that, banning you from everything. But so we're going to move on to our next story, and it's the Gallant Country Gig for all local hospice. This is great. These are pretty handsome men that's going to be there, Virginia.
Well, that's what I observed. As I say, I might be married, but I'm not blind.
You can always look.
This is promising to be the country night of the year. So it is. It's taking place in the Breffni Arms in Armagh, and it's a guy who actually is for St. Christopher's, and it's a guy who and it's featuring the Three Amigos and Patrick Feeney. One of the Three Amigos, Patrick Feeney, and Johnny Brady, country star.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot more up and coming. That's what I observed, because all I remember is Big Tom. You know, from years ago. I don't know, Terry, did you ever go to see Big Tom? He was
up before my time.
Was he? Really?
I think Johnny's the handsome one in the picture there. He's pretty handsome, I think.
You know, you could turn him like country music.
You could turn to like country music after seeing him.
Yeah,
That's Johnny on the right,
Yeah, they're both...
I think there'd be a lot of single ladies at this.
Yeah.
And married ladies.
Married ladies.
Then sure again, the husbands will get abused when they go home.
No harm in looking, is right. But it's for a great cause. It's for St. Christopher's.
Yeah, and that's the main thing.
Yeah.
And
they've raised an amazing amount of money through this as well. So they have.
St. Christopher to do really good work.
We really encourage everyone to go and support this. Will you be heading down, Terry, yourself, or Virginia? This is it's in the Breffni Arms, and it's on this weekend, is it? I think it's on this weekend, so we do encourage everyone to go to it, and there's a 10k run as well. with
Well,
this.
Terry, will we do the
Yeah,
10K
so
run?
this could be something that people could go to.
Well, yeah, but either people
It's actually on the
if they're not able to do the run, they can do the
17th.
walk or they can cycle.
Either or a little bit.
It's for a very good cause. And
Okay, so it's on the 17th of September, and admission is 15 euros, and it's at 8 p.m. Sorry, no. Yeah, so that's the 17th of September. Admission 15 euros, and it's at 8 p.m. in the Breffni Arms Hotel.
Very good.
And lots of talent. There's going to be lots of talent.
Are you
there.
going, Siobhan?
Oh, I don't know actually, but I am going to this definitely, and it's Lose
yes.
Yourself in McIntyre's new play. I am really, really excited about this play because I've been on to playwrights to write a play about women and show them the essence of women. So I'm very, very excited about this. But when I read a bit of it, I thought, okay, what is this about? Is it like a hen party that goes away and goes wrong? So I'm excited about this one, Virginia. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I was actually reading about it, and I've heard of that Porrick McIntyre before.
Mark McIntyre's huge.
Available, yeah. He's huge, very gifted guy.
Yeah, really gifted. He did the Joe Dolan show,
That's
or
right.
the night Joe Dolan's car broke down, played in the Olympia, and it's travelling around Ireland now, so it's a really, really good,
I
it's a
think
really
it's
good
still
writer.
isn't it?
It's going back to the Olympia in October,
Yeah.
so it is, yeah.
No, it sounds, when I was only reading the article, and I was like, oh my god, that just sounds like fun.
Yeah.
You know, like all these women go away together.
So the
And
storyline is that they work together.
Yes.
They're working together and they're
Correct.
going on a team building weekend. And they get this bus together down to some country town and do this team building, but with a few shots and a few different things going on and a few stories told in between. I don't know how it ends, but it's meant to be one good crack, good laugh, but it shows the real essence and strength of womanhood, or womanhood.
Sounds good.
So now actually we're going to head on to a break. We're going to take another break and we'll be back to you in 5.
Hi, we're Republic of Loose, and you're watching Cavan TV.
Welcome back. You're watching Forum Views. I'm Siobhan Harton, and my two special guests tonight is Virginia Harton and Terry Brannan. So welcome back, guys. Okay, so this is an interesting story. Terry, what's this about? Gale's too strong for Mullahorn. What's going on here?
That was a league game, and Cavan Mulhorn was after playing in the championship the week before, and we have a panel of maybe about 30 players.
Right.
And we're not that much interested in the league or the championships is our priority nearly every year, but we still we give a lot of the young players a chance on the team that mightn't make the senior championship team. So in that league game again.
So really, they didn't get the best of Mullahorn that day.
It wasn't
really fair for
It
Gale.
was just a league game, so we weren't that.
They're not that bothered. It
worried
doesn't
about it.
sound.
Yeah, but Mullahorn is playing in the championship
Saving themselves.
at the weekend. We're playing.
They're saving themselves.
We're playing Killygarry, so I think the Gales are out of the championship. As far as
the
I can
Gales out
recall,
of the championship?
Cavan Gales are out of the championship. Killygarry beat them, so Mullahorn is still in the championship, and we're playing at Killygarry next Sunday at 4 o'clock. But Kingscourt's playing Castlereagh on Saturday. But the only thing I have maybe a bit disquiet over is that one Mullahorn game is at 4 o'clock, and Crishlaw and Lacken is playing at 8 o'clock.
Right.
But there's such a time difference, just for people.
So you can't get
Really
to
good
the two.
deals. Well, it's not that. Like, one game might be over, the championship game will be over, and they will say 5:30, 6:15, and then there's a time lapse maybe for an hour and a half. But I just thought it was wrong by Cavan County Board in putting such a time limit scale between the two matches, because same girls would come in and enjoy watching Crishallough and Lacken, because they're good. That'd be a good football match, football.
Yeah.
And it's like anyone that wanted to stay, and then when that match would be over, it seemed very, very late for patrons going home. It'd be 10 o'clock, and if they wanted to go out for a drink or for food or something, it's very late. But I just thought the Cavan County Board just might have got it wrong, and that is, if they wanted to look at it, they could have charged maybe 12 or 15 euro. People like good deal don't mind paying a few euro to see good games.
Yeah.
That's the only downside of that. But just say, I just like to wish more Horton.
Oh,
the
what a
next one
horn!
is
Is it?
every time.
Every time.
Can you make a prediction? Will
Are you going to make a prediction? How are they going to win?
Mullahorn.
Is Mullahorn going to win?
Sorry?
Is Mullahorn going to win?
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
Oh,
you have to be optimistic all the time.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
we have a good set
Are
of
we going
players.
to do a prediction of what they're going to win by?
We have a very good team captain in Dermot Sheridan, so he'll lead them all the way. Yeah.
I remember one time Mullahorn won, and we partied that much. We partied till 6 in the morning. Actually, my voice.
Well, you'll be
left.
partying again very soon.
My voice went. My husband thought he was in heaven for about 5 days.
He'll be in heaven again.
I couldn't speak.
Yeah.
We
Or is
sang.
that because your voice went? Was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
I couldn't even whisper, but we sang that
You
much.
shouldn't be singing so much.
We sang the whole night,
Yeah.
and it was great. And I think
Oh,
we
it's
wobbled a
good
few
spirits.
times.
Ah,
It's good
yeah.
spirits
It was
when
brilliant.
It's nice,
when
it's
the
nice,
team wins.
it's nice,
It's good
it's nice to
spirits.
see the
Yeah.
championship, because
Yeah.
Cavan Gaels were really good champions for years, and King's Court is a very good team and coming up really good. So it's all to play for now. So
So it's time to share it
it could be
around.
any of the team,
Mm.
Killygarry,
It'd be great to see
Mullahorn,
other
King's
people
Court, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Share it.
after this weekend it'll be
Share it.
So that's what you're going to be doing this weekend, is it,
Well,
Terry?
that's where I'll be
You're going to be heading to the match.
heading to the matches, yeah.
Are you going to be doing anything before that? Is there anything special coming up for you this weekend?
Nothing really, no. Like, we just put a lot of emphasis just in going to Brittany Park and
Preparing the team.
prepared.
Getting the banners ready.
No. But I like to just like the buzz in the parish now and seeing that when you are in a semi-final, and we just struggled through with a point, winning by a point here and a point there, but still we're still in the championship. That's what matters.
Great.
And there's a lot of effort gone in with the players from last January, and Niall Lynch, the team manager, and Danny Brady, the selector, and Emma Brady. So there's a lot of work gone in with them, with the team, and again I wish them the best of luck.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of prep work behind all this. Like, that people don't see, they just think of the game and everything, but there's huge amount of prep work behind it, and team support and everything. It's great. It's great community spirit. I always think of the GAA as being massive, great
the
community
GAA
spirit.
is the nucleus in the parish,
Yeah.
involved in there. Like, if anything happens, like the GAA players and team and mentors, everyone gets involved, and
Yeah. And that's
it's
great.
It's a great
Oh,
community.
no, it's
more
great.
than a good community, but
Yeah.
the GAA is, I think, it's more or less built around the GAA.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
the Cavan
great.
supporters meant to be I've heard this loads of times, that the Cavan supporters are one of the best supporters of their teams in the country.
Really.
That'd be true, that
Yeah.
the volume of people that
That
go
go
to the games
matches and everything.
are really
like
high
that.
all the time. They're great supporters, like they never lose the morale. I've heard that so many times. No
No,
matter-
no,
Will
no
you
matter
be going
what.
supporting them, Virginia? Will you be
Yeah.
heading to,
No.
or what are you up to for this weekend? What's your plans this
Well,
weekend?
this weekend I'm going to chill out tomorrow, and I'm actually going to see a faith healer on Sunday.
Oh, you're going to a faith
Yeah,
healer.
faith healer,
Who's
yeah.
this? Or where is it? Or
He's a guy up in Johnson Bridge, up in, I think it's the county of, would be Westmeath,
Right.
or Kildare, I'm not
and
sure.
what type of faith healing? Like, what would you be going with?
He's just just this person that I know actually went to him, and he got cured of his blood pressure.
Oh, right, and this
yeah.
is to do with blood pressure, is it?
I
It's a
think-
healer that cures
Yeah.
blood pressure.
Yeah, he different things. Seemingly cures lots of different things. And I just gone up with somebody on Sunday that want me to go with them, so I'm going up again.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
Really nice guy.
But-
He's humble
yeah.
guy.
And it's a really interesting thing.
Mhm.
Healing is really interesting, like, because a lot of people will go to healers for different things, like, you know, the healing of whoop and cough, and it's amazing how they work. I'm a firm believer in faith healers, so I'd be. Have you ever got any being done.
Yeah, well, like it's what people believes, and you know, like that's if they get relief from it, so like doesn't matter where they get it from, whether it's a faith healer, whether it's a doctor, or whether it's
Yeah.
it's whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever works for
Whatever
you.
works
works
for
for you.
Some people have no belief in doctors. Some people have no belief. Some people are big into herbal, different.
Yeah,
A
alternative
lot of people doesn't
medicines.
even want to take antibiotics. Like anyone that had any complaints, go to the doctor. To the antibiotics, but there's other people that doesn't take anything like that. It's just the herbal or faith healers or whatever. But whatever people gets relief, that's.
It's totally true. It
Down
is.
to
It's
belief.
whatever works
Yeah,
for you.
whatever works for
works. Yeah.
Don't condemn
Yeah.
anything you try it. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
That's
Give it
true.
some-
That's true.
Definitely.
Keep an open mind
Yeah,
with it.
I'd
Yeah.
like to
and
Siobhan,
you're-
I would have
Yeah.
really like a strong belief in
Yeah.
that kind of
Well,
thing.
good luck on Sunday, and
Yeah.
I'm actually going to have a quiet weekend this weekend. I'm going to relax, but I'm definitely going to go to that Port McIntyre play because I really want to see, and I'm so excited about a play been wrote about women. It's about time, so it is, and that they've seen in a really good light. So I'm really excited about it, and it's going to be really good fun. And actually, the Rammer Theatre is a really good theatre for, like in Virginia. It's a lovely state-of-the-art theatre as well. And actually, Cavan's very good for plays and theatre as well. Is like we had a great play in Mulloran called The Titanic that came up, and that was, and I think the arts is brilliant in Cavan, and supporting the arts is very important. I thought that it's a great event to go to.
The Titanic is brilliant.
Yeah, a local lady directed it, Irish Beggar.
So, and Sunday night in the Imperial, there's a band playing at 8 o'clock, and their name is Sue's Band.
Oh, the heavy metal.
Oh, and Paul Cox, I just hear word in my ear that Paul Cox is drumming with them at 8 p.m. on Sunday night, so actually I might not have a quiet night. I'll have to go down and see Cox in that, I think. I think him doing his drumming solo, I'll be very excited to see that. So I really want to thank Virginia Harton for coming in here, and Terry Brannan. Thank you so much. You have been wonderful guests, and thank you everyone at home for watching Cavan TV and the Forum News. And Daniel and Sheila will be back next week too. Okay, bye now.